I had lost my wife, my home, my job, my ministry. Pretty much spiraled out of control with drug abuse and alcoholism. It got me to a place to where I was homeless, sleeping in campers with no heating and air, and was completely hopeless. I just gotten real depressed, suicidal. I didn't want to exist anymore. I just become a wreck of a man.
Even though my daughter and I were real close, she was, the drinking really hurt her, and we had lost everything. We had been evicted from a home, I had to sell my car to try to cover some bills, which didn't cover them. I had moved my wife and daughter and a dog into a hotel room. We were living there and we were about to lose it. And I was sitting on the couch there in the hotel, drunk one day, and my daughter came in, and we had been so close. And she looked at me and she said, "You're the weakest man I know." And it wrecked me. But it wasn't enough for me to stop drinking.
A friend of mine from church that is actually her daughter attends church here at Triad, knew about Pierce Ministries, I guess through her daughter, made a way for me to contact Ronnie and Alice. They did a phone interview with me because I was 300 miles away, and Ronnie asked me a question. He asked me that, do you feel like, how do you feel? And I said, well, I'm ashamed, and he said, well, God is not ashamed of you. He gave me hope, man. He gave me hope, and that Pierce Ministries was going to accept me in up here.
My sister had come by a couple weeks before and mentioned Pierce. She had heard about it. And she said, I hear good things. After they agreed to take me, and I came in, I was apprehensive being a 58-year-old man. I'm an old guy, I'm an old dog, and it's hard to learn new tricks. But I wanted what they were offering, and some of the guys that were there that I spoke with, I wanted to know more about what they were finding there. And so I gave myself over to God and I started studying.
I am Alice Mendel, and I'm the co-executive director of Pierce Ministries and Rehab Services. We are a 9-month residential discipleship program for men who have struggled with addictions. When we think of program, we think, oh, we're locked away somewhere and we don't see the light of day for a long time. It's not like that. When people come in, they're learning how to live as family. So each one of our homes is in a family setting. Now we have 3 focuses: restoration to God, restoration to family, and restoration to society. So our first process is our recovery process. On that entry level, they're learning who God really is. They're learning who they are to God. One of the classes that we have offered for years now is called Men's Fraternity. Men's Fraternity is a program that is designed strictly for men to help them become authentic men of God. It's not just used in recovery settings, but it's used everywhere. And it is one of those materials that covers a man in his workplace, a man in his family, a man in pretty much every setting that he can be in. But it provides a safe environment for a man to share with other men and to understand, I possibly have gone through something you've gone through. So it builds an accountability, and we're very strong on accountability.
I met Randy I came in and he was sitting on the couch. Had just gotten there a few days before I did, and
that began a kinship that we grew from, and we found we liked a lot of the same things, fishing, and we liked helping people.
It is a program, but it's a family. It quickly becomes your family, your brothers.
You're sharing the same bathroom, you're sharing the same food, you're sharing everything. So you have to work through this. You have to, and we have, and we were so blessed to go in together because we both wanted the same thing. a better us coming out. And we were so blessed to do it together. He helped me a ton.
Pierce Ministries opened up their arms to me and did not know me. Didn't know where I came from. They opened up their doors, their homes, which began the process of the most rewarding life experience I've ever had. It changed everything. You know, it was the catalyst that Christ used to redirect me back to Him.
Amen.
Caring is an illustration of God's grace and mercy and forgiveness. And if there's ever been a person, a part of my life that had a right not to forgive me, it'd be her. Me and Alice got together and talked about me re-proposing marriage to her. You know, when I hit the altar and I asked her to marry me again, she was in shock 24 hours later. But she did say yes.
We've seen amazing success with men through Pierce Ministries as they've allowed God to transform them. But we've only reached half of the population.
I mean, just like the world needs better fathers, they need better mothers too. I mean, there's a huge need for it.
I have been in and out of secular rehab since I was 16 years old. I had everything but the love. And as broken and hurt as I was, the only thing that would have saved me was the love of Christ. I went to jail on a number of occasions, and as soon as I left jail, I went straight back to the crack house. And there was no program available in High Point for long-term Christian treatment. A woman's facility or a women's treatment center, Christian treatment center here in High Point is vital. Everything that Pierce Ministries is doing for the men, the women deserve that same opportunity also.
So since our planning stages began in January of 2015, we have moved solidly ahead with being able to put together this women's program that mirrors our men's program. But here's what we need in order to accomplish that. We don't do it by ourselves. We need the involvement of this community. You have resources in your money. You have resources in your talent. You have resources in putting people to work.
From experience, I know that Pierce Ministries is going to need transportation to get the ladies to church functions and Bible studies. They're going to need furniture. They're going to need toiletries. They're going to need towels. They're going to need shoes. They're going to need everything. These women have lost it all. They have nothing. Anything you have to give. Help them know what it feels like to feel important again.
If you watch and listen to Alice and Barbara and some of the women that are involved in Pierce Ministries, the caring that they hurt for these women. They really do. It can't help but rub off on you. We need it. I think it would change the society that we live in. I'd be behind it 1,000%. I'd throw my efforts into it 1,000% well, it will come to happen. I'll tell you, this place loves it, and they're excited about it, and it will happen, and I will be involved.
By the power of God, Pierce Ministries works. It's not a human power, it's His power, and it works. Families are being restored, and a society is being redeemed through transformed lives.